In today's video, you'll see an island that's completely infested with snakes, making it uninhabitable. And we also have an island that's filled with thousands of feral rabbits. First though, let's look at this third-order island in the Philippines with number 15. Vulcan Point, the Philippines. Volcanic activities sometimes result in the formation of some strange geographical features, and one such bizarre feature that owes its origin to volcanic activities is the Vulcan Point located in the Philippines. But the formation of this island is what makes it even more unique. Want to know how it was formed? Well, follow me keenly. In the Pacific Ocean, there's a Philippines island known as Luzon Island. It's on Luzon Island where you'll find Lake Taal, which has one of the second most active volcanoes in the Philippines, known as the Taal Volcano. But at the top of the Taal Volcano is one of the largest crater lakes, in which you'll find the small island of Vulcan Point, just at the tip of one of the volcano cones. So in simpler terms, Vulcan Point is what we call a third-order island because it's an island in a lake that's on an island which is in a lake in an outer island near inside the Pacific Ocean. I hope you all followed me with that one. Either way, that's what makes it a popular tourist destination in the Philippines. Number 14, Snake Island, Brazil. 91 miles from Sao Paulo, Brazil is Snake Island. This 106-acre landmass is not a place you'd want to visit, especially if you're scared of snakes. This is because this island is home to over 5,000 golden lanceheads, one of the most dangerous and venomous snakes in the world. In fact, the venom produced by this species of snake is so toxic that it dissolves tissues and flesh. The snakes roam the small island freely and have learned to survive on the island thanks to the available large bird population, which provides them with enough food. To date, the island remains forbidden by the Brazilian Navy to land on, except for scientists. Number 13, Isola la Gaiola, Italy. Forget about the Snake Island. Here's another weird island that's been deserted by humans. And yes, I'm fully aware I'm probably mispronouncing all this stuff. Enter Isola la Gaiola, which is located off the coast of Naples and is made up of two minor islands which are connected by a bridge. Sure, you're already asking why people deserted this island. Well, that's because everything here looks pretty fine. Look at the crystal blue waters and beautiful skies surrounding this island. Just about anyone would want to spend their holiday in this small paradise. But not if you really mean to live longer. It's rumored that this lovely looking island is cursed and that most of its native owners are met with terrible bad luck or untimely deaths. And that's the reason why the island remains uninhabitable to date. Number 12, Poveglia Island, Italy. From the most cursed island, we now move to Italy's most haunted island. Poveglia Island is a small island that floats between Venice and Lido, but it's considered the most haunted island in Italy because of its macabre past. Ideally, when the bubonic plague hit nearly half of the world's population, the Romans thought the best way to quarantine the sick would be to ship them to Poveglia Island. And that's where they were left to struggle with the disease until they breathed their last. As a result of this and other gruesome acts that happened on the island in the 18th and early 19th centuries, the island became haunted by the innocent souls that were tortured to death. Indeed, to visit this island, you gotta be a hardcore ghost hunter. Number 11, Partridge Island, Canada. Partridge Island is another island that served as a quarantine center. Located in the Bay of Fundy off the coast of St. John, Partridge Island was established in 1785 to quarantine Irish people who were moving to Canada in 1830. Nearly 80,000 immigrants were treated and examined on the island by the 1890s. Besides serving as a quarantine center, the island was also used as a navigational aid and a quarantine station. Later, a monument known as the Celtic Cross was erected at the island in memorial of those who passed on at the island. Today, Partridge Island is a tourist destination with many people visiting to connect with the history behind the island. Number 10, Island of Dolls, Mexico. You want to visit one of the creepiest islands on Earth? Well, probably the Island of Dolls can do you good. That's because this island, which is located to the south of Mexico City, welcomes you with thousands of dolls hanging on trees and buildings. Pretty enough to scare even the bold ones. But these thousands of dolls don't just find themselves on the island out of nowhere. There's a mysterious legend behind it all. After a girl visiting the island drowned while swimming, the area started experiencing supernatural activities, including voices calling out for dolls. The residents began to collect dolls and hang them on the branches of the trees where her body was discovered to appease her spirit. And the practice has continued even as tourists keep carrying dolls at the site as a tribute to the girl's soul. Number 9, Christmas Island, Australia. Christmas Island is an Australian territory in the Indian Ocean. It was named so because it was discovered on Christmas Day in 1643. One strange thing about Christmas Island is that it's populated with about 14 species of crabs. This makes up a population of about 140 million of them. These red crabs form a spectacular scene during rainy seasons when they scramble to leave their inland burrows to spawn in the sea. The migration, though interesting to watch, is very dangerous to the crabs. Many are killed while crossing the road. Thankfully, officials and residents have constructed bridges to guide the crabs and help them access the sea safely. Number 8. Easter Island, Chile. Located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean under the territorial boundary of Chile is this mysterious island known as Easter Island, or Rapa Nui. This island is famed thanks to its strange prehistoric statues, also known as the Moai statues, that are littered all over the island. Although not much is known about these massive human statues with big heads rising 13 feet above the ground, one thing is clear. They were carved by the native population of the island. Sadly, the entire population was wiped out by European explorers who brought various European diseases with them. That's how the history of this place got lost. Today, these over 900 sculptures dotting the island are regarded as one of the world's most spectacular architectural marvels. Number 7. Deer Island, New York. Deer Island is one of the American islands that is cloaked in mystery. Located on the St. Lawrence River in Alexandria Bay, New York, this island is part of the 1,800 islands known as the American Thousand Islands. The islands feature a 40-acre structure that's entirely owned by the Russell Trust Association. This functions as a skull and bones retreat, offering a sports facility, a fishing lake, as well as a private meeting place for members of the association. However, the association, also known as Skull and Bones, is linked to the Illuminati. Well, that's true or not is a matter of debate, but we think Deer Island offers them a good hiding while making their shady deals. Number 6. Diego Garcia, United States. About 1,000 miles off of India is an island isolated in the middle of the Indian Ocean known as Diego Garcia. This vaguely U-shaped 44 square kilometer island is occupied by the US military and leased from the UK. Diego Island was home to 2,000 native Chagosians until they were forcibly evicted by the British government between 1968 and 1973. This was to allow the US military to build a military base after the lease. Today, the island houses US military personnel, communication facilities, combat vessels, and a runway that can accommodate a large plane. The strategic location of this island allows the US military to strike locations in both Asia and the Middle East with much ease. Number 5. Socotra Island, Yemen. Just off the coast of Yemen and about 240 miles to the south of the Arabian Peninsula lies the Socotra Island. It's one of the most biodiverse regions in the world with over 800 rare species of plants and animals. The island features a strange umbrella-like tree known as the dragon's blood, known to produce a dark red sap used for medicinal purposes. Even the people, the birds, and the reptiles on Socotra Island are very unique and native to the island. Indeed, the uniqueness of this island is something to see. It's no wonder that in 2008, Socotra Island was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 4. The Eye of Argentina. Also known as El Ojo de la Tierra, the Eye is a Spanish island that is located in the Parana Delta, between the cities of Campana and Zarate in Buenos Aires province in Argentina. This island is surprisingly shaped like a perfect circle and has a diameter of about 120 meters. Besides, there's also another circular channel that surrounds the circle-shaped island to create a crescent shape filled with water. And when the channel and the island are observed from above, you get a picture of an eye, which explains why it was nicknamed the Eye Island. But one strange thing about this island is that it moves and rotates on its axis. Number 3. Sable Island, Nova Scotia. Sable Island is located in the North Atlantic Ocean, about 190 miles to the southeast of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Nicknamed the Graveyard of the Atlantic, Sable Island is home to about 475 shipwrecks. And it's on this crescent-shaped island of dynamic rolling dunes that you'll find over 400 wild horses. These horses were intentionally released on the island in the late 1700s, but they came to adapt to the island on their own. Another peculiar thing about Sable Island is that during winter it experiences the largest seal colony, with hundreds of thousands of seals coming here on the beach of Sable Island to breed. Today it's the newest national park in Canada. Number 2. Okunoshima Island, Japan. Japan is home to over 7,000 islands, but of all these many islands, many of them stand out as the most unusual and strange. And that's none other than Okunoshima Island, commonly known as Rabbit Island, which is located in the inland sea of Japan. And as the nickname suggests, this island is home to thousands of friendly yet feral rabbits. Now, before and during the Second World War, Okunoshima Island was used as a production site. It was actually at this site that Japan produced chemical weapons, and in the process, a colony of rabbits were brought to the island to test poisonous gas. Now the leftover rabbits at the end of the experimentation bred fast, resulting in the current huge population of rabbits on the island. Number 1. Vozrozhdeniya Island. Several years ago, Soviet Union officials and scientists who were seeking a location to establish one of the darkest laboratories in history settled on Vozrozhdeniya Island. This place is located in the Aral Sea, and they went ahead and built a biological weapon labs here to genetically modify diseases like smallpox, the plague, anthrax, and other diseases to resist medical treatment. To make the experiment successful, about 300 monkeys were exposed to the germs and monitored. The team of 1,500 people working on the project were secluded from the public and had all amenities on the island. However, the Aral Sea dried up and the island became part of the desert. The lab facilities turned into ruins after the Soviet Union abandoned them. Although the US and Uzbek officials later burned the ruins to kill the pathogens, no one knows for sure if the ruins are still contaminated. Thank you all for watching!